To your story. I know it's pretty late in the evening and most of you are beating traffic, but I must say this is going to be a wonderful interview for you guys because most of you want to own homes in the future, and I know all of you millennials out there write to me asking me what is the best time to buy a house, and if you're 25 or 24 and above, it's the best time to talk to Mr. Ramji Subramaniam, who's the founder of Sowparnika Projects.
Yeah.
Right, and he's got a wonderful background, guys. He's also a corporate man. Worked in GE for about 10 years or 15 years before he became a real estate giant, at least in the making, in Bangalore, in Karnataka, in Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Ramji, thank you for being on the show. I'd like to know a few things from you. Why the shift from corporate to real estate? How did that happen?
It's a great journey, I would say. It's I would say fate, and it's a kind of a luck by chance it comes into. An opportunity for all the middle class people during those days wanting to make an extra income made me came into that for buying and selling.
So where were you at this point of time? Delhi at that time?
No, initial days I was in Bangalore from 99 to 2003. I would say that's the time we started with putting some land buying and selling points. And the real estate was on a boom that point of time, especially towards the eastern and the northern part of Bangalore. And I could make a small amount of additional income during that time, and then went into construction of homes for.
So it started like that, right?
Yeah.
You just took it as a normal hobby project.
Exactly.
You were working. You were a Six Sigma black belt in processes in GE.
That's right.
And you must have been earning very well.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, salary wise pretty good. Family was good, and you still want an additional income because during our time we do definitely have a requirement that you take your parents, you take your brothers, sisters. You have a larger family to take care of.
How did that bet happen now? Did you do it yourself, or was it a family member inspiring you? How did that idea come about?
I would say we went and bought a house in Whitefield during those days for staying ourselves, and there's a lot of mess that we came across during that time. The completion was not done.
Okay, it's born to personal experience.
Yeah, it's a kind of personal experience we went through, and we felt there's a huge opportunity for improving this housing process itself. So being a process man, I felt nothing was working in that house where I moved in, and then we felt it's a huge opportunity. Why shouldn't you start yourself? And we kept thinking about that for some time, and then to start as an entrepreneur, it is not easy. Ideas do come to your mind, but you need a lot of capital, or you need a lot of willpower.
By the way, guys, Sowparnika is a 220 crore business today.
Yeah.
But it absolutely started out of pure necessity.
Yeah.
And in 2003 there was a real estate boom.
Yes.
And you just got into it. You were working also.
Yes.
But it was your wife and your brother who were executing the projects. Yeah. When did you jump in full time into this?
2008 is the time that I felt the business was doing okay, and we need to move into much more professional, and professional was required in the company, and my wife and brother felt that I should leave the job and come in. So they pulled me in, saying that it is the right time that we want you to join the organization. So that's how I came into the organization.
Okay, so no experience in real estate, whatever?
Oh, no, definitely. I'm not an architect, I'm not a civil engineer, nothing. I'm a pure finance guy. Done some quality projects and things, done a Six Sigma black belt, that's it.
So that's the beauty, right? Real estate in the end is all about money management. It is essentially a cash management business.
I would say any business for the sake, for an entrepreneur, for always say is a discipline in money management. If you, the first few years of your job, your entrepreneurship, I would say, you should have a very strong discipline in managing money, managing your cost, and ensuring that you do a fantastic cash flow management system. If you can do that, I think any business, I would not say just real estate, any business can be successful.
I like what you said earlier, sir. You said if you're building a project, and once you complete it, in the first 6 months, you have to make sure that 40% of the project is sold.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll run into cash.
Exactly.
Problems.
Yeah.
How do you manage to keep that going all through your career?
I would say that the most important thing that you look at in a housing segment or the product that you're selling is, are you selling at the right price in the market? The pricing becomes an important factor for you to get your sales up. And the first 6 months of your project that you launch, you look at least around 30 to 40% sold out. So that generates a good amount of cash, a good amount of customer base for you to take the project through a success story. That's where you really run on the projects. So I would say that sales in the first 6 months, price it right well, make sure that marketing is done well to the product, and definitely it is going to go on.
And you're betting on a young India.
Yes.
You said the average buyer in some of your projects are 22.
Yes.
You want to tell me how we focus on the millennial generation, how they're buying and why they're buying?
The current generation, I would say, we just recently started a product called Positive Homes, where all the factors of the product are positive, and we want to really look at the millennials. I would say the lower part of the millennials, that is from around 21, 22 years of age till around 27 or 30 years of age. Now, these customers that are the people who are working in IT or non-IT, whatever it is, their disposable income, even though they might be earning a 28 or 30 or 40,000 rupees salary, their disposable income is pretty good because they need to spend only for their basic necessities. Unlike where we came in, where we spend a lot of money sending back to the parents, or we have to take care of other necessities. Here they don't have that necessities, so they have a good amount of disposable income. So, and today housing being a very important segment, whereby you definitely look at house not just to stay there but as an investment also. So the first thing that they look at is to buy a house instead of buying a car or having a luxury processes. I would say that buying a house becomes very important.
So is it a very important asset class today? I mean, compared to other things?
Yeah, this is one of the very important asset class coming in. A lot of appreciation do still happen in this segment. And I would say, unlike buying a 1 crore or 2 crore house, which they cannot afford, here you buy around 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs house, and then it automatically appreciates within the 3rd or 4th year when he wants to upgrade himself.
And you've also built houses starting at 7.
Yeah,
I was amazed. How do you manage at such low cost? You were saying that you have to again be extremely careful with cash, right?
Yeah. The most important thing in this segment where we started selling at 7 lakhs in house under the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana is that we look at this product for the real common man and the people who are just around 22, 23 years. You just come into Bangalore, you've done engineering over here, or you've done your studies over here, you get into a job, 25, 30,000 rupees salary. Instead of paying a 10, 15, 20,000 rupees rent, you just buy this house within 12 months or 18 months, you move into your house.
Okay.
So that's a big investment for you, and they look at this appreciation of the product also. And how do we do that, or how do we deliver this product is, we are looking at ensuring that all the processes are in-house. We do not outsource any of the activity. The cost is very much under control, so that the delivery process is taken care very well. We don't even do a joint venture on the project. We do buy the land, so there's a lot of due diligence done happening on the product itself. The land is well within the limits. All the RERA approvals are there, so that it's an advantage to the customer, or we call it as a positive for the customer, that all the 22-year-old guy can buy very easily for.
So you're across 3 states in India today. And you don't see many advertisements. How do you market yourself? Brand building is very important in the millennial generation. Their affinity to understand people who offer value is to the image that you build. How do you manage when there are so many bigger companies out there who have managed to get narrative out there? They're well known. Yet you've sold most of your property. You were saying you've completed about 45 as of now. 100% occupied.
That's right.
How do you manage that?
I would say brand building in real estate is delivery process. I would say that you cannot create a brand in a year or 2 or 3. It took 15 years for us to build this brand till date. So I would say it is a continuous delivery process, continuous improvement process. You work towards customer centricity. You make sure that the customer gets the product as per his whatever the committed specifications we can give, and I'm sure that the brand automatically comes in. But said that, you should still have a marketing process to happen. So we have off late, I would say, a lot of digital activities happening around. We have a lot of activity happening around the common man, or I would say the digital age, where people can approach today all on the phone and things. So how fast can you reach them is the most. We don't go into paper ads and other things, which is very costly, and the results have not come up to the extent, whereas the digital age we are in, which is moving much faster, and all the millennials are on the phone today. They hardly read newspapers today.
I agree with you. That's a beautiful point. I want to ask you, there is this narrative floating around that younger people will probably lease a house for 5 years. They may not want to own the asset. And I thought that fundamentally changes the real estate business dynamics, because you're invested in a sell model. Most of them, not just you. Would that change the dynamics of the business? But you had another thought there, right? You want to tell us that? Yeah,
actually, I would say that this is not going to change the scenario of the real estate, but the new player coming into the system would be an investor coming in.
So they'd be an investor.
He can invest money in this. He or she can invest money in this. He can buy the house from the builder, and he can lease it out to the millennials for around 5 years, and then when she moves out, he can either sell it to him or somebody else at a higher price, or he can further lease it out to somebody else. So the leasing process is not coming from the builder, but from the third level, which is the investor point.
So you see that business evolving?
It's going to be a huge business. It's going to be a very big business coming, and I would say that the millennials themselves can do that.
Okay. So guys, you can start a new business. You can buy houses, rent it out.
Yes.
So that's going to happen.
That's going to be very big money, because what happens is you can save taxes through that. You have a lot of advantage of tax savings also under that segment. So
Okay.
that's an advantage that you go through, and end of the day you can own lots of houses around you, and even if you lose a job, you're back on track, your money is still with you.
So that's going to take off. You're saying,
Yes.
so this whole concept of, how do you read this whole concept of people wanting to stay close to work? The whole concept of co-living, co-working, you see that floating around.
Yes.
Is it a VC or venture capital led narrative, or is it a narrative that's been led by the builders themselves? I see a lot of the prestiges of the world, not prestige, the embassies of the world have WeWork, there's RMZ that's invested in.
I would say where your tech parks and things are coming up, people do want to start into this point of it's a new venture. I would say you would say the venture capitalists do come in. Some of the builders do play a role where they are looking at the tech parks or the retail or those kind of businesses where they can accommodate people. So I would say this is a new business venture that is coming in. The builders can also play if the cash is good, but I am very sure that the builders core is going to construction and hand over the products.
So that will continue.
Yeah, that will continue, and that's going to be the core focus of the builders.
So I want to ask you, 7 years of glut. I mean, I would say the real estate industry has suffered. You've done extremely well. A few brands have done very well. This whole bunch in the middle, you see a lot of unsold inventory. Why is that?
I would say the pricing is one of the segment that has gone wrong by virtue of having the inventory much a higher rate, and I would say also that a lot of over leveraging by some of the developers or the builders has come up, and not having a core focus on the business. I would say any developer today in the market, if you have a core focus towards what you have to deliver to the customer, and not just keep buying land and accumulating a lot of assets. If you are on your core business of delivering the product, I don't think so anybody would be in a situation having a lot of inventory. So the focus is more important in business.
So you're saying that next 5 years is a good time for real estate to invest in real estate projects?
It's always been, real estate has been a very good investment point. I would say customers of Sowparnika has always made money in the past, and I would say that in the future also we have seen, even though we have seen the last 5-7 years of lull period, but I'm sure that from the coming years, with the election years coming in, we are expecting a much more stronger government to come up. I am very sure that we would see a very positive note in real estate. With all those reforms that happened in the last 2 years, I would say the results of those reforms, we would have to wait and watch in the next 5 years to come.
We have audience questions. Do you want to take them?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Induja Arvind. She tells us that being a young home buyer, what should I be cautious of while purchasing a home? That's one. You want to talk to Induja? What should she be cautious of while buying the first home?
I would say, Induja, basically what you have to see is that any house that you're buying, first look at is whether it is a RERA compliant product. RERA compliant product. Today RERA is very strong, and I would always urge every customer to look at a RERA compliant product only. Do not go and buy which is not a RERA approved product at all, because that takes care of almost 90% of the compliance processes in place. Once you have RERA approved, and I'm sure that you don't need to worry the other sectors, because they take care of the legal part, they take care of the approval process, everything is taken care. Then comes is your pricing, which you have to work on. And I'm very sure that if you are a smart person, you will definitely able to negotiate through well in this current scenario.
So RERA is what you look out for first
Definitely.
thing. And in terms of financing, say if she's 27 or 30, most of them Indians getting married also. Is home ownership going to be the first point of asset class ownership, or is it going to be a car or something else?
I would say car is today it's easily available. I think if you have 10,000 rupees in your pocket, you can go and buy a car.
And it's a bad asset to own.
It's a bad asset to own because it's a depreciating product, and you're going to spend more money on fuel and things. So I would say with the infrastructure growth that is happening in Bangalore, with all the metro coming up, people are going to reduce travel by the cars and the scooters. They're going to travel by the metro. How the Delhi and the other cities are happening today. Because if you go to London, people who are earning a good amount of money travel by metro or the tube. So I would say Bangalore also going to change. So I would say the investment should be on homes, which is very important and is growing, is going to appreciate.
So let me say the budget, the EMI, so most of them earn in India the average salary, say in a city like Bangalore, if they're working in the IT sector or the FMCG sector, the average salaries are 45,000. Would you suggest invest in a house if you're earning a salary?
You should. I would say that if a person is earning 45,000 rupees salary, and if they are paying almost around 15,000 rupees as rental, I would say if the money that you spend as rental, add a 20%, 25% to that, and that should be your EMI. Because that 25% you will definitely save back as a tax again in the process.
Okay.
So I would say that at the end of the day, your rental you are converting into your owning a house. So that's a process that you have to go through.
Okay, interesting. Second question is from Trupti Shetty. She says, with elections coming up, is the real estate sector in for an uncertain future right now?
I would say that this is the right time to buy properties. Real estate sector will never fall down. There might be a small dip in the point, but the confidence that we all have on the government coming back, I would say that it's going to be very positive. And if it comes back, it's going to be much more stronger government to come up, because the reforms are going to get into impact now. So I would say that this is the right time, and I would say you should go and buy the house.
So great time to invest. You're
great
saying.
Time to invest.
And also the property. Can you negotiate on property prices now with
very much. It's the right time to go and negotiate the prices.
Amazing. Great point, Trupti. I hope you go buy your first home. And then this is Raja Mukherjee, who says, in terms of capital appreciation for your homes, has there been capital appreciation for your projects for the last 1 year?
I would say all the houses. In fact, we ourselves as Sowparnika has increased pricing in the last 12 months by 30% upwards. So that shows that there is an option available with the builders also if you are on the right price product. There is a market. We have seen market going upward. That's the reason we are able to increase the price to 30%. So that shows that if you are in the right segment and if you are selling the right product, customers are there, the millennials are there, you should go and invest money to appreciate.
And your average homes cost between 45 to 80 lakhs?
No, we start from almost 7.5 lakhs onwards to maximum 50 lakhs. None of the products of Sowparnika goes beyond 45-50 lakhs.
Interesting. So millennials, right, in the future, do you see incomes rising or do you see income stabilizing? Income
has to rise, because today if you see the inflation is there, definitely within Indian context, the kind of people skills going up, job opportunities increasing. I would say we are a growing country, we are a young country, we have a lot of opportunities come up. You would see just the Bangalore market. We have 8 lakh people every year coming into Bangalore. It's a huge volume. And these are all coming from other parts of the country. And yesterday I heard that Bangalore is the fastest growing city in the entire world.
That's true.
So there's a huge opportunity. So why shouldn't you look at Bangalore's investment?
Why not? Why not? I mean, the pressure. I mean, in fact, some of them readers want to ask us, how friendly are you to the environment in terms of, say, discharge of sewage or water regeneration? Do you follow all those standards?
Yeah, that's what the RERA takes care of, all those processes. But still, as a developer, for the last almost so many years, we are very clear about that process. The Pollution Control Board norms do tell you to maintain that part. We also, as a company, have all the STPs in all the projects. The water is recycled into the toilet so that the water discharge is taken care very well, so that you do not spend, an average house needs around 400 to 500 liters of water. Half of the water is used in the toilet, and that water is coming from the recycled system. And like that, all the houses of Sowparnika are Vastu compliant, where the light ventilation is there, the air ventilation is there. So people look at all these parameters to the core before they go and buy these houses.
Okay, there's another audience question. This is Sunil Shankar, who says, which sector is going to gain in the future, the luxury market or the budget homes? Again, coming back, because I've seen the IT sector slow down, and salaries are definitely not on the rise there compared to, I see other sectors like retail coming up.
But IT sector should do well. I'll tell you, in the sector, I'll tell you where.
There are so many startup boys here. I mean, boys and girls, startup boys and girls. People are joining startups.
Yeah.
Do you see that changing? Do you see more entrepreneurship and therefore
more entrepreneurship in India is coming up? If you see all those business schools who have started, most of the business schools today in India were coming from abroad, also started institutes in India where entrepreneurship programs are coming up very high. Why do they do that? Because they see a lot of entrepreneurs coming up in India today. So that's an opportunity.
So will it be luxury homes or budget homes for the millennials?
Now it's a very simple math to put up. You buy a 1 crore house, will it become 2 crores? How many years? You buy a 10 lakhs house, will it become 20 lakhs? Easily. So you want to double your money, put it on budget homes.
So you look at it that way.
Exactly.
Think about it that way.
How much money, how many people are there to buy a 2 crore house? How many people are there to buy a 20 lakhs house? You have to see that. So opportunity is in the budget homes.
So you're betting there, of course. And you have mostly 150 projects planned, or how many projects have you planned for the next 3-4 years?
I would say that currently we are running 27 projects. 27 projects is running currently. We are growing fantastically as of now. The current year we are at 220. The next year we are targeting a 350 crores revenue. We have a 1700 crores worth projects in hand now. So I would say that we have already planned in such a way that the next around 2 to 3 years, our revenues are coming from the existing projects. So we look at adding the project as and when we need, not just go and buy land left, right, center.
So on an average, you make 150 homes, right? In Bangalore, it
Exactly,
larger.
that's right.
400 complex of 400
exactly,
maybe.
that's right.
Okay, Induja, I can ask, do you have operations outside of Bangalore as well?
Yeah, we have in Coimbatore, we have in good cities in Kerala, we are in Trivandrum, we are in Cochin, we are in Calicut. In fact, Calicut, we have just launched a project and we are sold out almost.
Okay.
We've not even started the excavation, but we are sold out. So that shows the customers looking at affordable segment in Calicut kind of markets.
It's interesting, and guys, being RERA compliant is very important, and that's what Mr. Ramji stresses on. Quickly, being election year, we all blame demonetization, we blame GST, but you're saying it's worked well, it is going to work better. So why would you say that?
I would tell you all the reforms takes time. We have to wait and watch. I'm telling you, I'm very also a kind of a person who has be kind of a problematic because of the RERA, because of the GST, the slowdown, everything has hit us also. But I would say that these reforms has given a positive impact on the industry. Today you see the unorganized players are going out of the market. So the people, we have to understand that real estate as a sector was completely unorganized till the RERA and the GST and demonetization. Now it is completely getting organized. Demonetization has wiped out the cash portion which was coming in different forms. That's a fantastic process because people will now look at only the end users to buy this. And the investors come with the real money to the point. So the GST point, it is an advantage to the developer because a lot of the buys that they buy is buying from the suppliers are getting a GST credit on that. Now if you look at the RERA, it shows a lot of compliance. There's a lot of work around this, definitely it is not going to be easy process. But RERA has put in a lot of systems in place where you have to have a lot of documentation and things. There is a cost impact on that because of which only we also started increasing the price. But this is going to be a big advantage to the end customer.
In the long run.
Because
they're going to get quality.
Exactly. They're going to get quality, they're going to get realistic products. The problem that we're facing
and no delays.
No delays, exactly. Today, if you're delayed, you're going to pay a lot of penalty through RERA also. So you're going to have a lot of working around that segment.
And GST has only perhaps impacted the commodities guys. Yeah.
Yes.
How, sir?
I would say that basically because a lot of money has to come to the government, from the government to those people into their pocket. Unlike in our segment where we collect money from the customers and we take a credit on it. So when you have to collect money from the government has to get the money back from the suppliers also. So there's a give and take process. So it takes a little time. So the process takes a little time to get implemented and things. I think that's what they're going through. It is getting rectified, I'm sure about it. But developers, I don't say GST has got major.
Nice. And by the way, you're going to go to an MBA school.
Yeah.
And you must be 40 plus.
Yeah, exactly. 50
right?
plus.
50 plus. And you're going back to education. How come?
We are now in the scaling up of the process. We are around 220 crores. We need to take it to 1,000 crores with an IPO. So when you have to scale up business, first and foremost, you have to bring a lot of professionals in the organization. So how do you bring in professionalism? My G experience do bring in certain level, but you need to keep up to the pace of the growth and how the professional can be brought in from outside perspective also. So you need to keep up learning. You need to increase your level of intelligence and things. You need to manage a lot of intelligent people. You need to bring a lot of intelligent people in the system. So a lot of work around that segment, and it's a good learning to be in the global education system to learn and come back and implement that in the organization.
That's why you go to school.
It's a lot of passion. I would say the passion is what generates you.
Sir, you're also reading anything that keeps you motivated?
I keep reading the HBR, the Harvard Business Reviews. I read a lot of books. I make sure that I learn that process of myself into the system whereby we can keep updating the business scenarios. And every day is a learning curve, I would say, and it's a fantastic process we go through. And I'm enjoying this journey that we're going through today.
So that's a great thing. And by the way, you're becoming popular. You're getting more girls write to you. There's Adrija who says, with co-living spaces being a popular way of living, why should a fresher at work go for buying a home? She's got a very valid point there because she's young. And basically, she's saying, why should she buy a home at that age versus living in a leased or rental manner and go away somewhere afterwards?
The most important thing I would urge the young generation is that from the age of 22 to 27 till you get married and getting the family way is the time you get a lot of money to save for yourself.
Okay.
So and during that time, if you don't save, you start regretting after the 27 onwards because whatever money you make, you start spending the money because for your family and things. So this is the right time for you to invest. I would say that you are going to double your make more and more money through this investment. You can do a co-living. You're going to spend that money. It's like you're looking at spending your money, and end of the day, the money is gone. So here is the process by which you can save a lot of money also.
Sir, our girls or women, I mean, in our generation, at least the ladies after you got married made the decision of home buying. Is it still true today?
To a certain extent, yes. Yeah, this I would see that today it's a kind of a combined decision coming from both the husband and the wife. It is not just the wife. They look at a lot of parameters under the segment. The women do look at the safety point. The women look at how the kitchen is put in up, or where the grocery shop is available and things, or where, in fact, they are also working class, so they look at the office. How far is the office for them also? Is the transportation available? Is the school available?
So they make those larger decisions.
Exactly.
Right, interesting. So that continues to be a strong point of buying.
We do have a lot of parameters before we identify the first set of land buying process. We have a very strong checklist on that. How the millennials look at buying the houses and things. And all this have come into the checklist saying that is there a school nearby? Is there a grocery shop nearby? What are the facilities available for them? What is the future of that place coming up and things?
Nice. And there's a next question, perhaps the last, because we're running out of time. Manu Thomas asks you, any reason why Sowparnika projects are economical in comparison to others, and why should he buy it?
We are economical because we are working on a cost plus methodology, and we call this as a manufacturing of home. That's the most important thing to work on. When I say manufacturing of homes, we call it as building all the processes in-house. Now, when you have to build all these processes in-house, starting from buying the land, the architectural process, structural engineering process, the construction process, the plumbing, electrical, anything you take, it is not easy to manage multi-department under this category. It's a lot of processes coming up into place. And you have to have a strong system in place to manage these on a regular basis. So what Sowparnika in the last 15 years has developed is that creating all this process in-house, setting a streamlined methodology by delivering the product on time with the quality that we expect. How are we cheaper? For example, let's say a normal developer would go to an architect and get a housing design done. They have to pay 50 rupees per square foot. When we do it in-house, we sell it at almost around 5 to 10 rupees per square foot.
Nice.
So every item like that is being seen as a cost part. And these are the reasons that we are able to sell at this price to the customer. And
that's
why?
Also the reason why you don't do joint developments.
Exactly. And land buying process, as you said, is very important. We do not do joint development because, again, we share the margins with the landlord. So we try to buy the land and we pass on that advantage to the customer again. So there's a lot of advantages that you get to Sowparnika when you are buying this entire process of in-house. There's a strong system, the corporate mindset coming up. Even though it's a family-run business, none of the family members are in the business. It's all professional verticals are approached by the professionals. We have very strong system that we are able to deliver this product.
Now, and all the best to you, because you also said you're going IPO soon, anytime soon, and you want to be a 1,000 crore company.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on your story, and that was a very informative interview.
Thank you.
And we'd like to host you again soon, sir.
Thank you.
And thanks
for your story.
Thank you. And you guys go buy your first home, and maybe it's at Sowparnika. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.